All right. So, hello again. Still trying to fix the audio issues on the channel. For some crazy reason, everything has been a little bit messy. The noise floor on my headset seems to be higher than the how loud it is when I'm talking for some reason. I think I probably need to clean out my computer and maybe get a better sound card, the usual stuff. I'm trying to bring up my own stream here so I can monitor the quality, but getting advertisements for a game that I don't even have the system for, so I don't know. Might as well check this out while it tries to load my game. Monitor the quality, but getting advertisements for a game that I don't even have the system for, so yeah, everything seems to be sounding better. Alright, I can mute my own stream and then wait till sometime in the distant future when someone may or may not watch this. Seems like I got about 17 people that looked at something since yesterday. It's not too bad. Of course, some of them might have just been checking to see if I was playing tanks again or something, but I'm sticking to somewhat less blowing stuff up stressful in the sense of war and more blowing stuff up because I'm a terrible engineer. Mainly because, in all honesty, it's really stressful playing that kind of online game. And I was at the point where it was either try and go full esport or just give it up. I was kind of stuck between two areas, and I made a decision to, I guess, focus more on playing the games as, I guess, a hobby, but not kind of an excessive, semi-professional type situation. Module Manager's doing. So, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm playing Kerbal Space Program. Right now I'm playing a career Galileo's Planet Pack. So that's basically a complete replacement of the SOC solar system that was made by Galileo and a couple other people. I think Poodmund and Jade of Mar, and then I know Ohio Bob did the atmospheres. A lot of really good qualified people that did a really good job setting up a solar system here. I actually think it's better than what came with the game initially. Although maybe that's because I'm looking more towards sci-fi, real, like semi-realistic science fiction as opposed to just cartoonish stuff, which is, well, really, that's kind of what the stock system is good for. It is good for especially newer players getting introduced to the field, I guess. Once you get a little more hardcore, if you go that way, that's when you go to all the crazy modded systems. I'm also doing everything in 10 times scale. So my mods list is half a mile long, but the major one is Sigma Dimensions to scale everything up 10 times. Galileo's Planet Pack. Smurf, which is that mod that makes the fuel tank somewhat useful, because otherwise trying to get enough delta V to get into orbit just not work too well. And then also, I have things like cryo engines, and then I'm trying out the Kerbal attachment and inventory system too. That's a new thing. Not really familiar with that yet, but it's at the stage now where at 10 times scale, I'm going to need to start trying to set up refueling and all that if I want to really get anywhere realistic. It was at the point where when I wanted to send a mission to the next planet over, I think Neven is the nearest one in there, I needed a rocket that almost blew up my computer trying to get off the ground just to carry the Kerbal flight. I'm not using life support mods either, because without the full realism overhaul suite, well, it's just a little too much at this stage. I managed to get a mission to Mars using life support full realism overhaul, but the rocket weighed about 40,000 tons getting off the ground. And, there's a limit, right? You only want to go so far with it. Landing on Jewel. What's funny is that theoretically you should be able to do that, because there'd be some level in a gas giant where the pressure of the atmosphere would match the density of the atmosphere would match the density of whatever you were flying, and then assuming the pressure wasn't too many gigapascals, you'd be able to float. So gas giant blimps, zeppelins, or which I think would actually probably be something that would be worth trying at some. Now, robotic most likely, as opposed to anything flown directly, but imagine having cloud decks the size of Earth. Thousands of miles of clear hydrogen gas. You can have pretty interesting vistas there. I know Carl Sagan theorized they could have a biosphere. I think Arthur C. Clarke had that too in his 2010 series. Like, you know, they had the life on Europa, which they kind of kickstarted by detonating Jupiter in that book, but it turned out Jupiter itself in the book had its own biosphere with like giant Zeppelin space cows, so to speak. And the monoliths decided to destroy those in favor of the life on Europa because you needed to have an Earth-like environment in order to develop technology. And if any of the audio stuff is screwed up still, I would appreciate it if anyone is watching this at any point in the near future to send me a comment or a message somewhere. That way I can try and make some technical corrections. So, let's see if my computer can manage to bring up save. You can see there Valentina floating in front of Gael. I actually have clouds and all that stuff installed in the game, but they usually don't display. That's a Copernicus bug. Galileo's told us about that. I think they're working on it, but the way these modders are going, it's actually pretty insane in the sense that they're updating stuff so fast that nothing can keep up. It's like they change game versions, they need to change all the mods over, they need to change the libraries over, the underlying code over. It's like there's like 5 games worth of coding on top of KSP just to support the mods. It's ridiculous what these people are doing. Crowdsourced game development, I guess you can call it. I'd suspect that that's more and more what's going to be happening. Is that the basic idea and framework will be done by the companies, and then they'll probably enlist modders and players in order to flesh out the game. So, here's my space center, about half upgraded. Nighttime on a 10 times scale Gael. So that's where any of the crazy stuff is going. So, this is a career. Let's see what contracts I have up. Okay, there was something in order of Iota. I have something in order of Ceti, in orbit of Ceti already, but I need to get some data from it. I don't have a good enough antenna. Okay, plant flag on Ceti, and a flag on Iota. I think I'm going to do the space tourism because I had just unlocked some new science equipment yesterday, and that way I can do a low orbit satellite and have that dude on it along with a pilot, and I can get some extra science from orbit while fulfilling that contract. And maybe I'll get enough science to unlock some better rocket engines so I can send a decent sized mission to Iota and Ceti. So first, let's start off with, trusty command pod. It's actually lighter in Smurf. It's only about a little under half a ton. That's just because I think the real Mercury pod was less than a ton, or about a ton. And this is half the size, because Kerbals are... So. Put a parachute. Oh, I do have this. Alright, so that'll fix that problem. Here's the outline of my spaceship. Now, from experience, I know that I will need about 4 parachutes to have this safely land. Now, science-wise, got the orbital telescope already. The M700, though, I haven't scanned Gael yet, so I'll shove this, then I'll shrink it down a bit. Notice what shrinking it does is it makes it more expensive. I don't think it changes the mass much, does it? Yes, it does. Okay, so it's a mass versus cost thing. But that thing's a bit large. So I already got these done. Here's what it is. Trusty biome scan, multispectral imaging. And I'll put a fluid spectral variometer here for the way up, because I haven't gotten atmospheric data yet. And I'd have too much. Yeah, okay. Try a slightly better design. Shove this up here, put this here. Let's put this here. This up a bit. Put a half decent antenna on this. Whoa. Dang it, I wanted to select this. There we go. Whoa. Alright. Close enough. So when this extends, it won't get in the way of anything. Now, some electricity. Want a rather large battery, because I need to be able to transmit back whatever these out. And now some electricity gen. That should be enough actually, but I'll put another. Now I have plenty of solar panels, parachutes. I don't need monoprop. And the reaction wheels on this pod should be enough for this, because I'm not landing it anywhere. It's just going to be an orbit. Now, I don't have a 2.5 meter yield, but I'll just tweak up. In this case, it's basically the same thing. I know I'm probably cheating a little bit science-wise, but really, I don't feel like I should be delayed just because... Like, come on, I wouldn't invent a 2.5 meter space thing without having heat. Not like... I don't tweak scale engines when I can avoid it, though, because that is still a bit sketchy. That gets overpowered in a couple cases. So first, how heavy is this? Oh yeah, only 4 tons. I've said more than that. So before I do anything, let's get the... Yep, I have room to put everyone up here, so I can get some people a little bit more experience. And then Tito Kerman, which is a tourist. So, I don't need any of this stuff. This should be about enough. Do I have poodles yet? This will be a little sketchy, I think. Should I do a radial design, or should I... Well, first, actually, how much is Tito... I need more engine. I don't think I have anything unlocked yet that could help me with it. So I will probably need to put a bigger engine on. How efficient are the buds? Do I have fuel lines? Alright, I know how to... I can fix it. Be useful anyway. There we go. This tank will drain these. And I know it's kind of weird to do that, but basically I just want to have the terriers. And I'm just using this as kind of a structural mount. Yeah, 0.93 is pretty decent for thrust to weight kind of setup. Now, I'm gonna make a quad core rocket now, finish this, so... I'm gonna use cryogenics. Probably need about 2 of these. No. I only need 1 more stage anyway. How much? Actually, this'll do it. I'll just shove some solids on this to give it a little more liftoff thrust. Because I'm only looking to get into a polar orbit at a couple 100 kilometers. Do the bioscan and the, whatever the frig you call it. The M700. So I want about 1.5 on the pad, so that way I'll still have about 1.5 when I'm supersonic and decently high in the atmosphere. And then I have more than 3,000 meters per second delta V before switching over to the Terriers, so I should be high enough that the thrust-weight ratio should be a problem. A bit taller than it needs to be. How much does this weigh? 200 tons, 300 tons? 147, that's not even that bad. So, am I forgetting anything? Parachute. Here I got batteries, I got antenna, all the science equipment that I can actually use. I'm not going to use any mobile process because they're still broken. Then I don't need landing leg. Debating now, should I put a reaction wheel? You know what? I got enough delta V. I'm going to put one more reaction wheel. Only a tenth of it. Uh-oh. What the heck just happened? Oh. I see what happened. Yeah, I still got 10,000 meters per second then. So I'll call this low Gael orbit base bus. Because it can put 4 Kerbals and a pilot into low Gael orbit. So perfect for those annoying tourist missions. And then I launch into polar orbits because a lot of the tourists want to be put into a specific spot. So what ends up happening then is I can just leave them in a polar orbit until it passes over where I want them to be. Life support isn't even that much of a problem for that. Back when I had the life support mods on, anything up to a couple of months, you only really need about an extra half a ton. Like, it's not that bad, even under TAC. The problem is when you're trying to get to another planet, then you need to have 3 or 4 years worth. And that's where the math. So it just needs an orbit and then for 4 hours. I can do that. I'm launching at night again. Sorry for the lack of a view, I guess. So I'm doing a rollover. And I'm going to launch straight north because I want the polar orbit. Now the rotation of the planet means that I'll need to do a little bit of correction earlier, well later on, but it's easier to do that when I got less mass that I need to course correct. I'm going to start a prograde gravity turn at about 125 meters per second because I want a reasonably high orbit, just so that I can get the scan data. So let's set her to prograde hold because Valentina's a veteran pilot. Oh, turn this on. Yep. So there's the atmosphere analysis. I'll collect everything in here. And now once I get up to about 19,000 meters, then I should end up having a somewhat better performance. And I should get another set of data. Let's warp this a bit until staging. Yeah, I'm gonna turn a little bit faster Now that I lost those solids, I don't have quite as much acceleration. Here we go, upper atmosphere. Whoa, where? Because transmitting that data is ridiculous. It takes like 1 trillion units of electricity. Huh, I do believe that's Neven there. I got distant object on so I can see other places. See if there's Talumo over here. That's probably one of the gas giants. There's Talumo there, I think. Yep, I'll be at about a 250 or 300 kilometer orbit, and that's about where I want to be. So, since this is in 10 times scale, it takes a lot more delta V to get to orbit. I need to be at about 7,500 meters per second. So, how's my resources? Yep, I'm not running out of electricity or anything. So far, everything seems fine. At some point, I'm going to need to correct to straight north, but right now I'm correcting my inclination on its own because I'm turning slightly west. I think that's actually the Coriolis effect deflecting my trajectory. Oh, nice. I made it over another biome before I left the atmosphere. The atmosphere ends at about 90 kilometers in this because I have it scaled up by about 20%. Alright, that's space, so it's 88 kilometers. This one I'll transmit, because screw it. Yeah, I have a long burn for my... Right. Go! Thank you very much, stage. Did me well. Served me well, or whatever. Okay, what altitude range do I need for this anyway? Oh god, I need to get up to 600 kilometers, okay. Well, that's doable. I should have enough delta V to get that high. Whoa, nope, okay. Still haven't corrected my inclination enough. It takes a while, I'm going to speed it up, it takes a while to get into space and orbit in 10 times scale. Alright, let's... 3,000 meters per second. I got another minute till Apoaps, so factoring in the speed change, I should be fine. And I'm going to correct to orbit as soon as my inclination hits 90 degrees. That way I should stay in a polar orbit. Almost there. Come on, you can do it. 89.5. 6. 7, 8, 9, go. Yeah. Now, I'll hold her nose up a little bit so I don't fall too much. Looks like I'll get orbit a little bit after hitting apoapse. That's really not surprising considering how long the burn on this stage was. But I'm actually almost there, effectively. My speed, I still have a ways to go, but I might only have barely enough fuel. I might not even make it. Oh well. If that happens, that happens. It's not that big of an issue. I still got a bunch of science. Although no orbital velocity is only 7,200, I might not be able to make it to a circular 600-kilometer orbit, but I should be able to stay in space. So, I'm going to throttle back a bit because I don't want the Kerbals passing out due to G-force. Alright. I think I'm going to leave it here, actually. Yeah, I'm not going to get high enough to use it. My fault. A lot of air drag losses using the setup. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my biome scanner now, and I'm going to see if I can collect some additional biome data using that scanner, the multispectral. I don't think I've gotten water yet. I have. Where did I put them? Got water. I think this is a shores biome. Oh, whoop, shit. Well, I'll get ice cap. Here's the ice caps. Now, there should be a tundra coming up. You can see the kind of snow-capped Arctic wave. Should be tundra for a little bit, and then it should transition over to either highlands or grasslands. Thought it was over. Yep, here's tundra. And then my orbit keeps me above the atmosphere. I have 100 meters per second left. That could get me a little higher on it. I already have grassland. Oh, mountain. Oh, highlands too. Alright, so I'll be careful about that. I need highlands and then... How am I doing for electricity? Alright. So I think the only thing I got left is Midland that I know of that I could get to. Like, there's probably a couple microbiomes, like reefs or something like that. I don't know what Galileo and them have put on this, but... I don't think they have as many bodies, like as many biomes, sorry, on Gael, Iota, and Ceti as they do on Kerbin, on Minmus, and I think they've done that on purpose. Because in the original game, with the science settings in Career, you can get so much science from all the different biomes that you can basically max out the tech tree before ever leaving the sphere of influence planet, right? And that's a bit sketchy. I need to get a midland. Somewhere down. I think that's the only one I haven't got yet. Really, this would be almost the first module of a space station. Something like this here. At some point, I'll probably put a mobile processing lab up, because eventually I'll probably get a space station contract, and when I do... Well, I don't think I have docking ports, so that would be a bit sketchy, but... I'm also not quite sure how to do a resource scan. Fuzzy read. So this one is scanning something. Doing it on its own? I want iota. Whoa, 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 midland. Alright, that's the last one that I can think of. Now I need to be in space for 4 hours. Because that tourist. Hours. 4 hours. Alright. So, I'm going to deorbit over the pole, so I should come down somewhere on that continent there. I find that when you're in a low orbit like this, 90 degrees is about how much you can, if that. And I'm going to use all my remaining delta V because I don't want to have fuel burning up in the atmosphere. Environmental concern. Aha. Alright. I definitely have enough to deorbit though. Actually, way I can burn this without changing my trap system. This way. Alright. Now, I should be in a reasonably good spot now. Where's my per at? Way down there, but I think I'll enter the atmosphere somewhere. I should land somewhere useful. Knowing my luck, I'll probably freaking land over the pole, but that's fine, actually. Environmental concern. Better to land in the ice than it is to leave rocket fuel in the atmosphere. It's not healthy. So, antenna retracted, parachutes ready, heat shields attached. Oh, that's really working. Now just time warp till I'm getting closer, closer, up. There we go. Nice, and I'm getting some more atmospheric science. I can dump that. Now, check the health of my heat. I'm gonna 4 times warp this. Kind of slow. There's the coastline. Either that or scatterers. Just... Yep, I'm losing some ablator. I'll probably lose that scanner too. Really just to be... Really wanted to turn this way. I don't think I needed a full load of ablator on this anyway. Not like it can hurt. I would have probably made it into the 600-kilometer orbit if I put half a load. I'm really not sure how much it... This is a fairly heavy ship because it's got all this extra weight behind the heat shield, right? Like, it's only a 2.5 meter cross-section, but it weighs 4 tons. Looks like the center of mass is a bit offset. It's actually good, because I think I'm getting a bit of lift here. What is going on? Now I'm getting negative lift. Shit. And my pilot will stay. Oh, they didn't pass out. No. Not quite sure where I am on the planet. Oh, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Oh well. I might get a fluid spectral variometer reading. Sec. Oh, I guess I've already gotten this. Oh no, never mind. I'm time warping. Tell me. Ooh, these are some thick clouds, man. There's a coastline. Oh, that's a cloud. Parachute at 8 kilometers. They're set to fully deploy at about 750 meters. Up, go. Up, up, up. Hey. And I'm only falling at 4 meters per second, so I don't need to worry about crashing terribly. Reasonably simple orbit mission, but I wanted to get this out of the way. I wanted to get up to 90 science. That way I can unlock some of those better engines, especially that Poodle. Because to get to Ceti and to do anything important, I'm going to want a 2.5 meter ship. Almost certain I already got that. Why can't I do it? Meh. If you say so. Well, I made it back to the Kerbal Space Center at any rate. Even though I landed on the other side of the planet, that's not a big deal. In this setting, most of the cost of my rockets are for ships that are well, stages that are just thrown away. Nice. I didn't remember clicking on that. Can't get that. Now, I don't need to buy all these parts. Skipper, that'll probably be... I know the Chalabanks is... Holy shit, these are terrible. That's not any good either. This one is... That's an excellent launching... This is an excellent transmuter type injections. Buy the SRB. I'm not going to buy any of these carbonite engines. That's another mod I'm using. Since I don't actually have any way set up yet to mine carbonite, it's kind of counterproductive. And I got $250,000 funds for bringing him there. Won't do the Gael one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to Ceti first before sending another mission to Iota. So, strategy, contracts, all that set up. I got the technology. The thing is that I need to send a pilot, an engineer, and a scientist. Oh, never mind. I can upgrade some of my strategies. I can upgrade this, so now that I'll get more science. Go to a new biome. Yeah, I can't do it. So for now, I'll just upgrade to this. It'll give me some more science for in-space high with that skin. So now, I need to make a mission to Ceti. It's like Minmus, except for if the Mon was in Minmus's orbit, basically. Bigger than Iota, has about one... I think it's about a little less gravity. So... any of this crap. Instead, I don't need any. Thing has gotten a little bit finicky. Letting me select anything. There we go. Alright. Now. I'm gonna need to relocate my science instruments. Simple reason that I am now going somewhere else. So, in the interests of expedience, of this here, shrink her down a bit, put a mystery goo in front of her, put that closer to the command pod so I can access it. Ditch this. I don't actually need the command pod, actually. But I want to put Bob in there so I can get at this. Now I could have the pilot in. Yeah, I'm gonna need to do... oh, well, that's fine. I can leave that. Keep the parachute on the top just because it looks... put the N700 back here. That's a bit large. I'll scale it down some. It'll be a bit pricey, but I should be recovering this in. Science. Barometer. Here. RPWS. Because I haven't actually transmitted any data back from Ceti, so more or less everything. Magnetometer. I do have the ScanSat done, though. Do I still have the biome scan? Whoa, no, no. Put that back here. Just... I don't have any... you know what? I'm gonna... I can't tweak antenna. Dang it. Some antennas I can tweak. I won't be able to transmit anything. I don't want to use that inventory. Oh, I know what I need. Where am I going to put that? Okay, through that. I'm just going to use a... this is a hollow piece of equipment anyway, so it makes sense to be able to shove that in. Now for inventory, I can put in all that hilarious science equipment that I... Golf club, bench, this instruction manual so I know. Base station for my science experiment. I'm gonna need about 10 of these. Yeah, if there's a way to mass select these, I haven't figured it out yet, so bear with me. If anyone knows anything that might be cool, just fire me suggestions. If you think my rocket designs are stupid, well, tell me, and then, I don't know. Can you have less subscriptions or following than not following? Probably not. 2 solar panels should... No point in putting a weather station. Careless move. You're going to tell you anything. I'm pretty sure this... Yeah, that needs... This... I'll bring along one of these in case. I think I got everything I need. I can't think... Oh. Carbonite scheme. Since eventually they're going to want me to put bases here somewhere, I might as well shove... Don't need that anymore. Getting anything important? Still have a pair. I'm not going to put a space telescope. Holy shit. Completely un... Now, the question is, I need to give this enough delta V to go somewhere. So, using the magic of sketchiness, I can handle. Kinda looks ugly though. See if I can shrink this. And I only need about half the... Yeah, I don't need a... Alright. So, fuel tanks. I don't think I need that huge gas core because I'm using a different config. I'm gonna put a poodle underneath this. And 3202 meters per second, that'll actually be enough to get me back to Gael from Ceti. So essentially now, this is my return stage. Basically, what you see here is what's gonna get back to Gael's atmosphere. That's home. Now the problem is I need to somehow land this. So, I'm gonna use my tried and true method of radial drop tanks, because you notice my thruster weight ratio is high, so I can fit more fuel. So if I put 4 of these here, shift it back, 1.28. I can put a little bit. Those come. Because now this stage here is going to be my landing stage. So if I attach this here, nice, I get 3509. So that'll be enough to burn into Ceti orbit and circularize wherever I want, and then get back to the ground. If I double check this inventory, yeah, I got everything I need. And now some landing legs. I only got these little chitsy ones unlocked. Good thing I have tweak skin. How much delta V will that cost me now? Alright. Generally, I won't land on Ceti and come back without at least 6,000 meters per second. And I want to have a bit of immersion. So, this huge mess here is what basically is going to land. So, I think I'm going to put some more solar panels. Put a set here. Oh, I don't want 4, I want 2 ways. I don't want to block the window, otherwise the Kerbals might fell. Alright, so that's that. Now, who am I going to put on this thing? Yeah, that's right. Everyone I got. And hello there, if it seems it says there's 2 people watching. That means it might be someone here that is not me. Somewhat unusual in its own way, but... Alright. So, now, this whole thing needs to get to orbit of Ceti. And I'm in 10 times scale, so... I'm gonna rename this. If anyone has a good name select, feel free to volunteer something. I'm kind of out of ideas. Alright, so I'm debating now, do I want to build from this poodle, or do I want to go down from the radial stage? I think I'm going to go radial. Because I'm going to need probably 4 2.5 meter stacks of it. So, this stage here is going to be my trans-Ceti injections. So I'm going to use cryogenics for that, because they're much more efficient, and because no one in their right mind would use. Now this engine isn't powerful enough, so check these. Nice. 1.24, I don't need that much thrust, so let's see if I can put another fuel. 0.95. So now that'll will be enough to get me on my way to get me to Ceti from low Gael orbit, and maybe do the last bit of orbital insertion on the Gael side. So I want about 8,000 meters of per second of delta V below this. So now the question is, this is where I really wish I had procedural stage thing. Haven't invented those. I guess I could just make a really long... Yeah, I have an idea. 1 sec. I know this is gonna look a bit ridiculous, but don't worry, I have a strategy. Alright. That now will be enough to get me this Ceti. I need another 8,000 meters. Oh. Attach it up. Whoa, that's not right. That's still not right. 1 minute. So that's a bit better. Notice I get about the same delta V using the 4-to-1 rule. But I need to use hanger extender, because this is getting a bit big. Now to be fair, I am basically doing a Saturn V class mission here. Sending 4 Kerbals to the moon and back. Along with science equipment. So... Actually, this is pretty good for a second stage. I think I can add another fuel. Because I'm going to have a first stage underneath these. Can I do a procedural tank yet at 5 meters? Yeah, no. Well, I'll have to do this the sketchy way. Oh wait, these tanks can't do... They can't do hydrolocks, hydrogen oxygen. So... Come on. Why aren't these nose cones customizable? I do not know. I'm just going to use a liquid cone tank and make... And there we go. I now have a good nose cones on these. Now I need another 4,000 meters per second underneath all this. The issue is that I don't have the technology to make larger tanks. So I'm kind of stuck now with what I got. Oh goodness. Yeah, I don't play tanks anymore. Sorry about that. It's a bit sketchy. This is more fun for me anyway because I've been waiting for a game like this to come out since I was literally too young to use a computer. So, I need one more radial stage to get this mess with another 4,000 meters per second of time. That I'm gonna use some sketchiness. I'm actually going to scale these tanks up to 3.75 meters. Three of them here. And I'm going to take this nose cone thing. I'm going to expand it a bit. Does this get any bigger? So, I need to make this a little bit smaller. I need 1.8 seconds. Now I need this to be about 0.9. That's good enough. Although I can actually fill this one up because these are liquid fuel engines. So, I want another couple tanks. I'm not sure how many I'll need. So I'm going to use now these new Kiwi engines I have on, because they're more powerful than the Skipper unit area. They're less efficient, but the key is I can cluster them. But I'm going to need to do something sketchy so that I can... Close enough. I think I'm going to want at least 6 of them. Let's try 8. There we go. Now, let's stack in all 4 of these and see where I get. I probably won't get that much out of these. See? 2796. Yeah, I need a little more. Dang, man. This is getting ridiculous. How big is this? Oh, it's still less than half the weight of the Saturn V. That's no problem, man. So, I'll shove these till the thrust-to-weight ratio is close to 1. And I'll use those new kickbacks I found to get me off the pad, so kickback, solid rocket boot. Might need to scale these up. But that's no. Yep. Ooh, there, now we're talking. And now I need this nose cone set. Come on, it's not letting me do alt select. I think this is just getting a little glitchy because of how large this rocket is. So, this is my rocket. I have the 4 solids plus the 32 engines to get me off the ground, then the second cryo stage to get me most of the way into orbit, then the third stage to do Gael orbit insertion, and then the trans-Ceti injection, and then this mess up here to actually do Ceti. So if I zoom this baby out, V is about the same size as, well, bigger than the V. Yeah, this is not fitting in the V8. So, make sure I get the staging right. Let's save it. And now let's launch it. So, the hard part now will be getting this off the ground because I've launched larger rockets than this, but that's with procedural parts. The procedural parts in this game that I have are limited in size. I actually can't even make them as big as the fuel tanks I have, even without tweak scale. So, at this point, there's no point in using them. My game is a bit slow when I launch anything this big. So here's my rocket. Oh. Tiny little launch clamps holding this thing up. But, yeah, this is the Ceti mission. I don't think I've forgotten anything important. I have parachutes and a heat shield. Worst comes to worst, nothing really bad. So, let's turn on SAS. F5 it on the ground in case something ridiculous happens. Engine's throttled up. And now, 3, 2, 1, liftoff. Alright, let's double time warp. Because my frame rate is kind of bad. I am sort of playing this on a toaster. Apologize for that in advance. So, I want to roll over to about 90 degrees because I want to go due east, best way to get into orbit. That way the rotation of the planet adds to my speed. And at about 100 meters per second this time, because I have a slightly faster rocket, I'm going to do a gravity turn. Whoa, no, holy shit. Oh, that's just control lag. Never mind, I know what's going on. Let's slow her down to normal speed. It might be easier. So now I'm going to start turning sideways. This is the gravity turn. Alright, so once this indicator converges with where I'm pointing, I'm going to switch it to attitude hold, prograde. Alright. So, now Valentina, my expert pilot, will keep this rocket pointed in the right direction so I can be worried about maintaining roll control. Just make sure to do it slowly this time so I don't overshoot. Alright. Still subsonic, so I haven't passed through max Q yet. But I'm already above the worst part of the atmosphere, really, in the sense of density. The Kerbal Space Center is shrinking away. And then you can see there's a 10-kilometer high volcano over there. So, I think I'm going to speed this up a little. The game will speed up once I drop some mass. Like, once I drop these solids in about 40 seconds, things will make a bit more sense. I probably should have put some struts on my rocket. Yeah, she's a little bit non-linear. But I can deal with that. Like, look, as I time warp, she splays out a bit. Hardy har har. Yeah, this thing might blow up at any point. Let's keep her slow down. When you do physics warp, things can randomly explode when they normally wouldn't randomly. So, I need to go get some food after, so I think I'm going to stop this stream once I get this into a stable orbit. And then the next episode that I'll do either later tonight, most likely later tonight, will be actually getting this thing to Ceti, landing, and then doing some low-grav shenanigans. Alright, so I'm going to slow this back to normal speed now, because we're almost at first stage separation. Well, solid separation. Considering how much Delta V it gave me, it's almost a first. Let's double check that I got the right... Yep, I got the right decouplers primed. That would be embarrassing if these full things came off. Notice a volcano peeking above the clouds there. So, almost there. And... detach. Ouch. Status report. Oh. Looks like my 3.75 meter thick tanks were stronger than the solids. I don't have separation charge technology researched yet either. So... I kind of need a little more technology before I can do anything here. Like, the really big boosters and the big decouplers actually come with solid rocket charges, which push them away. But I don't have the ability to do that yet. Normally, I'd have this upper stage in like the lander here and a fairing too. But I don't have that technology either. So everything just kind of had to be sitting here. Well, I'm above almost all the atmosphere now, so I really just got to boost this thing into orbit. I think I'm at about a decent glide path, so to speak, ascent path too. I should end up leveling out by the time I reach maybe 200 kilometers, and then I can circularize there. I need a lot of speed to get to orbit, though. Notice how I'm going at about 1,300 meters per second. I need about 7,500. Uh-oh. Something is oscillating. What the frig is going on? Oh, I know what's wrong. My decouplers aren't strong enough. I'm gonna throttle back a bit. That should make it a little less ridiculous. Actually, you know what? I'm going to turn SAS off. I think that's the problem. Because it's these... Like, normally aerodynamic drag would level these out. They wouldn't do this. But I think it's the engine thrust that is. God dang it. How come these two are moving and these two aren't? I'm gonna try some rolls if I can. Whoa, that completely fucked. I was hoping that centripetal force would keep them from touching each other, but it's kind of going the opposite direction. Turn SAS back on. This is what you get when you try and build giant moon rockets out of stuff found along the side of the road. Why is it only this one that's turning? Like, what the heck? Oh, well, even if I lose those stages, I can still get this into orbit, so it's not a complete loss. I have a little bit of delta V margin built into this. Yeah, I know what's going on, though. The mechanical strength of my decouplers just isn't up to the weight. Because these rockets are much, much larger than anything that you build in the stock game for a reasonable task, because I have everything scaled up by a factor of 10 to real size. So instead of the planet being 600 kilometers wide, it's 6,000 kilometers. You know what also it probably is that there's less mass on these. So I'm going to throttle back even more. I have enough time to apoapsis that it's not really an issue. That's making it worse. What the fuck? Will it stabilize at full thrust? No. Shit. Oh, well, I have a strategy to fix this. I'm in space, so let's try this. Ha ha ha! Time warp. And then it immediately goes fucked up again, but oh well. That'll give it a little bit of... That's basically the equivalent of them shutting off the engines for some time and letting everything stabilize. I don't think they have mechanical damping implemented in this system, like in the physics engine, so... Oh well, back to prograde hold. 2, 1... Alright. So. If this settles down at all. Oh. F5. Let's try decoupling. Nice. Alright. Fire the next stage. This one should be a bit more stable. There we go. Still will probably be a little bit noodle-ish, but it doesn't have those gigantic tanks just on the end of it, right? How bad is the oscillation now? Not too bad, nice. Now I can speed this up. Because, really, this is going at a snail's pace. Okay, it's not stable at 4 times. Things are getting a bit foobar, so let's stick to 3. I'm getting there anyway. I'm gonna reach apoapsis in about a little under 2 minutes, and my stage will burn out in 3, and then my apoapsis will kind of run away from me. So, I'm not at orbit yet, but I'll get there eventually. The Kerbals will be safe anyway. Even if this whole thing in the back blows up, I can just decouple this and then re-enter. I wouldn't even have much of a problem because these engines are actually powerful enough that I can almost do a landing even at sea level. So... these engines are pretty good. The cryogenic, their specific impulse is 422 seconds. That's about 100 seconds better than most of the normal engines. Now, the trade-off is they're less powerful for their weight, and they're more expensive. And the fuel tanks are much larger because the fuel is less dense. But besides that, it's a fairly effective setup here. Alright. Getting close. We're leveling out. There's the space centers way back there. We switched over from height map to texture mode now because the Our altitude is so high. We're 220 kilometers up, which is about similar altitude to where the Apollo ships orbited while they were waiting for their moon injection window. How's my electricity going? It's fine, I got plenty of that. Got 50 seconds to apoapsis, so I'm not quite going to make orbit with this stage here, but I shouldn't need very much of the next one after it. How badly is this oscillating? This one is fine. It was just those other freaking tanks that gave me the trouble. Next time I'm going to put some structural bracing down around here next time I use this type of design. So, we're going to stage in about 5 seconds. We're gonna need about 800 meters per second, I think, to circularize our orbit. So let's just zoom in ahead till we get a bit closer. Once this periapsis approaches ground level, then I'll slow her down and then do the final circularizing. Alright. Whoa, slow down, we're getting close. Switch back to manual. Pitch down a bit. I'm going to throttle back a little bit so that I'll have more control over my... And we have a positive periapsis. We now clear the atmosphere. There we go, we're in orbit. Yep, so periapsis there, apoapsis over here. And our target for next stream, Ceti. Second moon of Gael. I already have a sketchy satellite orbiting it, Kerbals 2. But this mottled somewhat, I don't know, looks like a jawbreaker that you licked off the coating of or something. But this is Ceti. 1,500 kilometers in radius, so it's 3,000 kilometers in diameter, 0.135 G, escape velocity a little under 2 clicks a second, and a 57-day, 8-hour orbit. No atmosphere. So this is basically a little smaller than Earth's moon. That's where we're heading tomorrow, with our little green men. Alright, well, thanks for watching, anyone now or in the future, and I'll see you guys later on. Have a good one.